All right. Hello. Good afternoon to everybody who has joined today another of our Live Talks sessions. Welcome. We're very happy to have you. This may be your first time since you joined Live Talks. They're organized by Employability Live, an initiative that tries to help learners to become more employable, to gain more relevant experience, to prepare you for the job, for the workplace of the 21st century. We're trying to get you ready for those skills that are relevant in what we call Industry 4.0. If this is the first time you heard Industry 4.0 or employability.live, just Google it, check it out. We are very happy to have you. Please let us know where are you connecting from. My name is Marketa and I will be the moderator for today's session. Today we will learn about using a digital body language. So just like we are meeting right now for this session at this moment, what is it that we should be doing so that we make sessions more engaging? You may meet with your colleagues in your future job, in your company, or maybe with your classmates in your respective school or institution. And how do you make your online presentation more engaging? So this is what we will cover today. So before I introduce our great guests and my colleagues who are also helping to prepare these sessions, I will also quickly check who joined us and say hello. So right now we have about 60 participants. I understand it's Diwali, so happy Diwali to you all. Or I know it's going to be on Monday, but many of you probably traveling back home to see your families. So I welcome you all and I appreciate that you have made time to join us today. So I see we have Pooja, Ashish, Agola, Aniket, Anushka. We have lots of you. We have Prachi. We have our colleagues here as well, Pradipti, Praveen, Priya, Rohit. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. So just to let you know what is it that we are doing here once more, I will quickly share my screen and just go with you very quickly through the topics that we have covered so far. So if you're here for the first time, please let us know in the chat window. Is this the first session you ever joined for Live Talks? Is this your second time, third time, fourth time, or is this your fifth? So today is the fifth session. We've so far have done 4 sessions. We've been covering a concept such as growth mindset, how you apply a really positive thinking, I would call it, into your personal and professional growth. We've also spoke about how to write a resume that is robot proof, so that recruiters, if you apply for a job, are more likely to see your CV or see your resume. And we have also covered a lot when it comes to general, as I mentioned, about jobs, about employability. And today, this topic today is again about what makes you more efficient in your workplace or in your digital communication. Some of you maybe want to be YouTubers, and even for you, this session can be very useful. How do you appear on camera so people want to listen to you? I'm definitely looking forward to learn a lot about that too myself. So welcome, thank you for being here, and let me welcome our great guest today. Her name is Philippa Ndisi-Herrman. She is among many other really cool roles that she has in her personal and professional life. She is also a filmmaker and intercultural trainer. So we're very happy to have her. So Philippa, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. Tell us, where are you connecting from? And I'm also curious to hear where our students are connecting from.
Hi, greetings to everyone. Thank you for having me here. Pleasure to meet you virtually. So yeah, I'm Philippa, Philippa Ndisi-Herrman, and I'm connecting from Belgium, from Brussels.
Awesome.
And yeah.
Yeah, so we both connecting from Europe. So Philippa is in Brussels and I'm in London, United Kingdom. My colleague Anindita Das, who is the director of our partner engagement, who engages with those great institutions that you're calling from. She's currently where? Anindita, where are you connecting from?
I'm connecting from Calcutta, India.
Brilliant. I've been there myself, enjoyed it very much, and I hope to come back soon. Thank you for being there, Anindita. Awesome. So, Philippa, I will pass it over to you in just 1 second, because I'm checking what our students are saying in the chat window. There is Priyanka also saying Happy Diwali. We have Rutik, Happy Diwali. Manish. We have Tanushri, Happy Diwali. And we have Hirve. This is Hirve's third session. Thank you, Hirve, for coming back. It means a lot to us. Bhavin, it's fourth session. Thank you, Bhavin. I know Bhavin is also quite active on social media, which we really, really appreciate. And Bhavika, this is her first, and Shruti also first. So awesome. Thank you so much. And Bhumika also first. So welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And over to you, Philippa. Let us know, how can we communicate digitally better?
Okay, so again, pleasure to meet you. As Marketa said, I'm a filmmaker, mainly a filmmaker, intercultural trainer as well, astrologer, also a yoga teacher. And I've lived in many different countries in the world. And that I hope that I can share this with you through my speaking work and through my work in different countries. I hope I can bestow knowledge that will allow you to succeed even more with your career dreams. Okay. So, digital body language. So, as many of you know, Zoom, Teams, different forms of online communication is a way that we are connecting with people globally. And that's a tool that will allow us to be able to meet colleagues, meet peers, meet teachers, and meet our future employers. So even though we have a rectangular screen, there's so much that we can use with that to be able to communicate better. Okay, so just 1 second. Okay. And what is very important to remember is communication is the tool, the biggest tool that will support you throughout your life, whether that's through your interpersonal relationships or whether that's on a professional setting. So in whichever way you can learn to communicate better through maybe ameliorating your grammar, learning English better, reading more, speaking to people, doing things like Toastmasters, in which you're able to improve how you public speak. It will always help you, because in my opinion, the second strength that we have is communication, to engage with people. But the first is body language and how we present ourselves. So how you see me is how I'm presenting myself to you. How I have my hair, how I'm dressed, where I am, how I'm using my hands, how my eyes are looking at you, how my mouth is moving, how I'm talking, and also just the way I'm carrying myself. If you meet me like this and I'm not looking at you, you create a certain picture of me that that may work against me. So it's very important that you're very aware of how you're presenting yourself, whether you're looking at people in the eye, whether you're using your hands to be able to support what you're saying. Okay. So communication is one of your greatest tools, and it will take you throughout your entire life. Even when you're 85, even if your circumstances are limited, how you talk, how you present yourself will support you in all fields of life. So continue to foster it. So 10 tips on better digital body language. Are you ready for it, guys?
Philippa, thank you. So I'm just gonna very quickly jump in before you first start the tip and tell our students that we also have a little competition on Instagram. So if they listen your 10 tips and then share with us what is it that that they will, from today, after listening to you, that they will implement for themselves to become better communicators online, we will get a t-shirt. But more than the t-shirt, what is important that they will actually learn something and really, make their lives more successful through the online communication, which, like situations like COVID, give us no choice than operate through. So sorry, I just wanted to tell the students. I will share the URL to our Instagram in the chat window so they can make notes and let us know what they have learned from you today. So just tell them to pay attention. Thank you, Philippa.
Yeah, welcome. And so everyone, please just look out for what you feel is, of the 10 points, what is going to really help you, push you forward to realize your dreams, your career dreams. So number 1 is center. So what I mean by center is, first of all, before your presentation or before your Zoom call, think about how you would like it to be, the best situation possible, and how you want to carry yourself. So you can even sit with your eyes closed or while you're walking around and imagine yourself talking successfully and engaging with people. So you can imagine yourself making a joke at certain points, or being very succinct and very precise with your words. Okay, so imagine success before you begin. And then before you do, some minutes before, you can really take the time. And of course, and many of you may also practice yoga. As I'm a yoga teacher, it's very important to really just connect and balance within your body. So become conscious of your body, become conscious of your presence, and realize that you're here right now. It doesn't matter what happened before. It doesn't matter what's going to happen after. You need to bring all your attention to this present moment and to your body, and know you're going to succeed. And also imagine yourself, I would imagine myself in a bubble. So all you want to do is give your presentation, engage with people when you need to, but avoid distractions. So as you're imagining how you want your presentation to be, you can ask yourself, what is the one thing that I want people to remember? Do I want people to remember certain very key moments or key points? Do I want people to feel at peace? Do I want people to feel motivated? Or do I want to make people take action? Like, what is the one thing I want them to come away with? So no distractions. That means wherever you're having your presentation, tell people that you're going to be on a Zoom call, and it's better they don't walk behind you, they don't walk around you, they don't talk to you. You don't want to be in a noisy place or a place that's going to take your attention away because people are calling you or the neighbors are making noise. You also would want to not look at the chat unless you need to. So you can also ask for support from your peers and say, are you able to check the chat? And then at certain points, tell me what questions people are coming with. Because if you're looking at the chat window, you're not going to be able to focus on what you want to say. Put your notifications off of your email or your WhatsApp that's on the laptop, so nothing is coming in the way of what you're doing. And of course, put your phone on mute and turn your phone, if it's going to be on your desk, the other way around, so you're not seeing messages come in. So forget about what happened before, put your phone on silent, turn off notifications on your computer. So that brings me to the second point, tone and tempo. So tone means, so for example, now I'm talking to you very calmly. Maybe when I introduce myself, I can say, hi, my name is Philippa. Pleasure to meet you. I'm really excited for what I want to show you today. So please, may you pay attention to what I'm saying, because I'm very excited about all the key points I want to give you. Now, if you're listening, my tone has somehow stayed the same, but I've paused when I've introduced myself, taking the gap, taking the space between saying things emphasizes what you want to say. Speeding up what you want to say excites people and makes them realize there's a sense of urgency for what they need to hear. Okay? So as you're giving your presentation or talking, notice that you can slow down to make people pay attention, speed up to make people get excited. And also at some points, if you want to deepen your voice, you can deepen your voice in order to show perhaps more strength. Or if you want to seem less intrusive, you can also make your voice lighter. But you have to play with this, because you don't want to be talking too softly and people don't hear you. And you don't want to be talking too loud and people think you're too boisterous or too domineering. So play with this. You can play with it with your friends, record yourself on Zoom and test it out. Okay? But remember, these things will command people's attention to what you are saying. And when you are speaking, it's very important that you pull people in and pull them in so they have their complete focus on what you're saying and what your message is. So play with the speed of your speech. Now, this is this is something that will give you 10 steps ahead, is smiling. Because if you look into the science of it, human beings love a good smile. Because when you smile, you're connecting to the other person and you're showing them that you're open. You're showing them that you're happy. You're showing them that you're also excited to be there, excited to be engaging with them. Okay? And sometimes when you're speaking, you can also say something. You could say, hi, my name is Philippa. Pleasure to meet you. I'm happy to be here. And you smile. And then you can continue. So sometimes you have to, again, play with it, but you need to make sure that even at points where you're also not sure what to say next, finish the sentence, smile naturally, and then it can allow you some space to gather your thoughts as you continue. Okay, number 3, camera and computer setup. Now, the height of your laptop, of your computer, is very important. The angle of it is very important. I'm a filmmaker, I use the camera a lot, and I always prefer to have the lens at eye level. Because, and this is a trick that filmmakers use, if the camera is looking down at you, it creates not a good psychological resonance. If you're looking down at somebody, you also seem domineering. When you're eye to eye, you appear as an equal. It also makes your face look better because a different camera angle is going to distort the way your face looks. You also want your workspace to be clear. You don't want it to be messy. Otherwise, you're not going to have your thoughts gathered together. Okay? So the height is very important. The angle is very important, and you want the camera to be at eye level. No messy work desk. This is not going to help you in any way possible. Okay? As they always say, you know, a clean space, a clear space is a clear mind. So have enough space on your desk. Check where is the best internet connectivity in your workspace and make sure your computer is at the right height and angle. So make sure you go around with your laptop checking where the connection is the best. You don't want to be pixelated. You don't want the sound to be distorted. And you don't want to discover this in the middle of the most important conversation or meeting of your life. Okay? It's not going to help you at all. So if you find that your internet is choppy or not as reliable, if you have the ability to be able to use your phone, to use the data on your phone and you can tether it, do that. So you use your phone as a internet hotspot. Or if you need to get a booster for your Wi-Fi, invest in that. It's going to help you. It's going to allow you to go much further. So here is a question. I would like someone to tell me what, I'll give you a clue. This is not the way you want to appear in your meetings, okay? This is not going to help you. So I would like some answers as to what is wrong with this.
Thank you, Philippa. So everybody in the chat window, what do you think this guy is not doing right while being on his online meeting, on his online session? So what do you think he could be doing better? Doesn't look professional, VG. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we.
What? Yeah.
Should I read? Is that okay?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Venraj, sorry. Padmesh Singh, obviously camera is not on the eye level. Camera angle, okay. Angle on the camera, Sejal, right. Yes, Servang, Komal, exactly. Chetna saying same. Yeah, I think they're getting it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Marketa. So yeah, camera is not at the right angle. Also the focus is on his mouth. We're looking into his mouth. Okay, we're not dentists. Okay, and also as you can see behind him, we're seeing the ceiling, and this also looks messy. It looks disorganized. So the background, of course, of your screen reveals something. So if you're not going to, so either use it to your advantage, but don't show. It makes me feel like he's a work in construction. Okay. So key, make sure your head, upper body and hands can be seen clearly. So we don't just want our face, we want our upper body, and we want to be able to see our hands as we're talking. And you also want a bit of space if possible. It's not so important, but we just need to see this. So best to use a computer and not a phone. And do not hold the computer or phone with your hand. So in the last picture that I showed you, I'm sure he was probably holding his phone and walking around like this and kind of talking like this. That's going to make somebody feel unsteady and shaky, and it'll make you come off like you're somebody who's not serious, not focused, and not stable. Remember, everything sends a psychological message. If you look like you're not stable, you don't look like you can hold a job, you don't look like you're organized, okay? And you look Like you may look busy, but you don't look the busy that is going to help you get a job, okay? You look disorganized. And you can use a phone if you absolutely have to, but it's much better to use a computer because a computer is bigger. The way it appears on the Zoom looks different. And it also just creates a nice workspace for you. And you look like you're at your desk. You're not just gone somewhere and having a Zoom call, which also can appear like you don't have an office or you're kind of trying to start a business and don't have a dedicated space of where you're paying rent or putting your energy into your career. Okay, next question. What's wrong here?
Every time we're doing this, Philippa, I will be scared. What is it that I'm doing wrong? So every time you say something, okay, am I looking in the camera? Is how messy? This is Diwali. This is on purpose.
Yeah.
So let's hear from everyone as well. So what is wrong with this picture? I wonder. Is it gonna be something similar? I don't know.
Almost similar, but there's one thing that I think. So I'll give you a hint, or give you the one answer. It is of course the height and the angle, but there's something else that we can see that is not helping him for this job interview.
He's wearing a shirt. That's a good effort.
Yeah. Good.
Although he should wear a jacket, it would look even better.
Yeah. Maketa, any ideas?
So we having messy background, mobile camera, not making eye contact. He's not facing towards the camera angle, no eye contact. Not looking in the camera, eye contact, hairstyle.
Good.
Agree.
It's true, actually. I didn't notice that. Yeah. It's a bit too up. So, okay. So great answers, guys. Thank you. It's true. The background is messy. You can have the impression he's either at home or in a workspace that's not very neat. And of course, the camera angle, as I mentioned, his hair. I think we need to get him to a hairdresser. But yes, eye contact, because he's not looking at us, and we have the impression that he's not interested. It seems like we're just here to listen to what he has to say. He doesn't want to engage with us. And eye contact is the key to communicating, okay? So another trick is to always look at the camera lens, because what happens with Zoom is I'm looking at Marketa, and that means that my eyes are actually not looking at the camera. So what you can also do is put a Post-it or a piece of paper on your computer that reminds you, don't look at Marketa, look at the lens, look at the camera lens, okay? So we have an example of a perfect person who's created the optimum situation for her Zoom call. Okay, we can see her hands, we can see her upper body. Oh my God, she's smiling and she's got light on her face. Now her background, of course, it reveals a lot more than maybe we need to know about her, because we get the impression that even though she's at her desk, she is in a home situation, and maybe that's something that she doesn't mind. In some situations, it's really okay. It depends on who you're talking to and what you want to say about yourself. What I also like is her desk is fairly neat. It could be neater, but she has her pens, she has her notebook ready to take notes. So she's ready to work, okay? So I would definitely want to talk to her in whichever way possible. And I feel like she's also open as an individual to learn, to receive, and to work together.
Philippa, if I may ask a question on that one, before we get into another failed attempt. So I personally, when I do presentations or when I watch presentations, I prefer seeing people with very wide background, or because I personally, I'm a very curious person. And if I was interviewing someone and I would look into their room, I would
Yeah.
end up being more focused, oh, what furniture did they buy,
Yeah.
rather than what
Yeah.
they're saying.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, great point. I'm exactly like that. And also what happens is sometime during a Zoom call, you start to get a bit sleepy and a bit bored. And not always, but sometimes. And then you start looking at the painting behind her. Like you said, you start looking, wow, I like that cupboard. I think I need to get one. Is that a speaker or a clock or what is that?
What is she
Is she a
selling?
Yeah, what is she selling? Is she a DJ? Does she paint? Who painted that? So there are all these questions that come up. And again, it's unless you want somebody to know all of these things, unless you're selling it or you want to reveal something about yourself, it's better you don't put it in. Okay? But she's, in terms of the, let's say, the camera angle and setup, she's great. So next question. He's smiling. Okay? So we have to give Sam 10 points for smiling. But I would like somebody to tell me what's wrong here. What could be better, let's say?
Preeti is on it. Sajal as well. It's all about the lighting. Shruti, Praveen, Redmi, Divyanshu, Om, Chinmay. Yeah, they're all on it.
Yeah.
Jogiraj Singh as well. Praveen, yeah, they're all on
Yeah.
it. Kamal, Sarban,
Exactly.
yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Is this going to be the number one point that you're going to put on Instagram about the lighting? So yeah, lighting. We can't see his face clearly. We can't see his eyes. We also can't see his hands, but he looks like a nice guy, right? He's smiling, but the lighting is all wrong. So let people see you clearly. Which brings us to the fourth tip, lighting. And if you look at this picture, you can see that she's facing the window. So the first tip with the lighting, which I always give, which is also great for taking photographs, is the light needs to be directly in front of you. If it's on the side, it's going to make one part of your face look darker. I mean, Marketa, you look fantastic. You look great.
I'm just trying to say.
No, you look great. Don't get me wrong.
Everybody must see that the light's coming from
No. And also the beauty of natural light is that natural light is less harsh, so it does help to allow it to fall on your face. But what is better is when the light is right in front of your eyes, in front of your face. And also, if you need to, you can get a spotlight that is in your house, or you can buy the lights that everyone has for Zoom calls. But you need to also play with the angle of the lights and see what works. If you're going to buy a light or implement a light, you want the light again to be at eye level. You don't want the light to be high. If it's above you, it's going to create shadows going down. And if you have the light beneath you, it's going to make your face, distort your face. So you want it to be at eye level. So what's wrong here?
Hi, Raj. Thank you for joining us. So no smile from Redmi. Praveen Singh, background light. Jogiraj Singh, also background light. Prachi as well. Viskasha saying no smile, indeed. I'm scared of that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. First of all, when you're not smiling and when the light is behind you, you look scary. You don't know what he's going to do or what he's going to say. And again, background light behind you. So actually you can see a bit of light here, but this is coming from the far window and it's not intruding with my face. But if you have any light from behind you, like the picture before or like this picture, it's not going to help you. It's better he turns around and puts the iPad, the computer, or the phone right by the window, okay? And smiles. So background. So if you look at this gentleman here, this is a painting, a portrait. If we were having a Zoom call with him and let's say I wanted to hire him to do some work for me, maybe one person you can give me one thing. How does he present himself? Like, how does his workspace look?
Any comments? How does the space look? While you're commenting, I just wanted to mention Vanraj is making fun of us in terms of us commenting on people's hairstyles, which I think is pretty fair because, you know, there is one thing, you can have messy hair when you like, you know, having some session like webinar, you know. But if you're doing a job interview, I would play it safe. I would just comb the hair. I would probably go to see a hairdresser as well. But yeah. Otherwise, yeah, Bhavika, Ajay said it looks very ancient. Indeed, Ajay, Lokesh, Bhavika are saying Padmesh, Nikki, Mandar, Servang, they all saying, you know, it looks quite cluttered.
Cluttered, exactly. Great word. So even though the background teaches us something about somebody and we learn a lot about him, right? We want to guess what are those pieces of paper? What's that book? What's that thing? So we guess at who he is, but in the end, he looks disorganized. The flowers are okay to have there. The flowers are okay to have there, but first of all, they look a tiny bit dead, but maybe the flowers can be in the background and that's the only thing that's there. Or the book is the only thing that's there, or even better, there's nothing there. So he needs to completely declutter. So do not have anything distracting behind you, even if it's beautiful, okay? If it's a very interesting painting, people are going to be staring at it and asking themselves, what is going on? So another thing you can do is you can go to Zoom, you go to preferences in Zoom, you go to backgrounds and effects, and you can also get a virtual background. So for example, you can get, these are definitely not what you should be using for a job interview or a serious meeting, but there is a facility to be able to also blur your background or even put a logo. So there's a way, like these are some photographs of mine that I've taken, but I can also upload a logo of myself or a logo of my business and put it behind me. That's also possible to do. So for example, like this gentleman who looks really nice, he's got his shirt, he's smiling. If you look on the right-hand corner, this maybe you know is like it's for beer. It's like you're able to get beer from there. It's like usually you have it in a pub or a bar. So if I'm having a meeting with him and he's telling me that he's the best sage, the best guru, he doesn't eat meat, doesn't drink alcohol, doesn't, you know, he meditates 12 hours in the day. If he's talking to me like this and I see the beer, I'm not going to believe him. So be very conscious. Branding. So, okay, this picture hasn't loaded, but branding is about everything that you show reveals something about you. So make it count. What you're wearing, what color shirt you're wearing, what jacket you're wearing, the style of it, the way you've done your hair, the way your skin looks, the background, the kind of shoes you have. Are you casual or very formal? Okay, so make sure and adjust depending on what you're doing. If you're having a more casual chat or going for an interview that's more casual, then you can lean a bit on casual, but it's always better to be much more smart and neat and play it safe and go to the hairdresser and comb your hair than not comb your hair. So this guy, he's got his shirt, he's got his tie, he's got his clipboard, but he also looks tired. He hasn't tucked in his shirt. He hasn't made his tie straight. So beyond your physical appearance of making everything neat, you also have to look like you're happy in your life and healthy and smiling, okay? Because people also want to work with people who are engaged with what they're doing and passionate about what they're doing. Oops. So other thing, hands. So beyond your eyes and how you look and how you move your mouth and how you move your head, your hands reveal something, okay? Now, if I want to talk about sales, the sales rose. So I can use my hands to say that sales, profits rose and profits went down. Or we had a huge success, but success was minimal. Okay, so the way I'm using my hands helps to emphasize what I want to say. Okay, now I mean, different people use their hands sometimes more, sometimes less. I'm an artist, so I tend to be a bit, like this. But it's very important that you use your hands, because your hands tell people what you want to emphasize and show. Okay. So, hands emphasize your message. Research universal forms of body language. So, what you can do is you can look up on the internet body language. If I'm sitting and having a meeting like this, as many of you may know, this shows your clothes when you cross your arms like this. If I'm sitting back like this, that doesn't look like I want to talk to you. Okay? So you want to be able to really research and learn what was working and what is not working. And again, when you're working in different countries, familiarize yourself with the gestures of the countries you're working in. Because how I know yes is like this and no is like this. That's the way, that's from my culture and the way I grew up. But in different countries, as you may know, it means different things, right? Eye contact, as I've talked about, always looking in the eyes. Make sure people can see the whites of your eyes in terms of when you're lighting and when you're with your lighting. And also just make sure you keep looking at the lens and don't keep looking away. Audio, you can use earphones, you can get a clip-on mic, you need to test out how the sound is, okay? And make sure there's no disturbing sounds from outside. Again, with Zoom, you can go to preferences, you go to audio, and what you can do here is suppress background noise and put it on low, okay? On and off camera. If your camera is going to be off, make sure you tell people, I'm sorry, my camera is going to be off for these reasons. If you're going to put your camera off in between, make sure you tell people why you're doing it. Okay, if you're moving your laptop from one spot to the other, make sure you put the camera off as you're doing this. So explain why you're off camera. Put a good picture of yourself. If your camera is going to be off, you have a nice biography picture, which is professional, which people can see even if they can't see your face. Icebreakers. So this is when maybe you're, what you can do, engage people, ask questions. So for example, what I did in between, I'm asking you questions. I've put a few funny things also just to make you laugh, to make me laugh too, but also as examples. And what you can also do is introduce, if it's a more casual work setting, you can also introduce breakout rooms and have games. So you can have 4 people in a room, give them a time limit and get them to answer a question or come up with a solution. And the time limit also helps people who are more shy or more introvert to be able to speak. Okay. Practice, 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 but also take a break. So it's really good to practice either some hours before or days before, but make sure you have a break between yourself and the presentation, so you allow things to sink in, or maybe you sleep, you do it the night before, so you're not too overwhelmed. Don't practice just before, because otherwise it's going to be too messy in your head. So, top tips. So record yourself before an important presentation, see how it looks, show friends, practice in front of friends or your colleagues. Join 5 minutes early, respect time, record the meetings, but ask for permission. But when you record the meetings, it means that you can pay attention the whole time without having to write notes, okay? You can also transcribe it. Sometimes Zoom has a facility, or other internet platforms, or also there's Otter AI, which transcribes the entire Zoom conversation, and then you can have the notes later. Invest in the right chair and helpful equipment. So you want to be comfortable on your chair. Some companies also give you a budget to be able to get the right chair or get a microphone. These things are really going to help you surpass the competition. Take frequent breaks. After 20 minutes, look 20 feet ahead of you for 20 seconds. So just so you're able to be good to your eyes. Stretch when you need to. If you're off camera, you can use a time to stretch. And if you have a more casual setting with your colleagues, you can also begin a Zoom call with stretching, okay? And you do not have to keep talking. Once you've said what you need to say, you can just finish. That's it. People also like to finish Zoom calls before the time, and it also allows space for questions. So I think I've talked a bit more than I planned to. So I think I'll leave it there. I think we've done enough exercises, and I leave it to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philippa. Anindya, I will pass it to you, and then I will mention the competition and feedback form at the end. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Philippa. That was quite an enlightenment, I would say, in that manner, because honestly, a lot of us are not very cautious when one is, like, for example, I don't feel that my lighting in front of me is correct. Like, I find you to be both to be much brighter than what I am looking at in my own screen. So I guess it is a very, very interesting and informative session. Thank you so much for that.
You're
And
very
for all the
welcome.
joinees, thank you. And for all the joinees, appreciate the fact that you could join us in this pre-Diwali weekend, right? And I know that the festive mood has already set in, with tomorrow being Dhanteras and followed by Choti Diwali. So I think, I would like to wish all of you a happy Diwali and also mention a few things. I know that too many of you have not even asked questions, but Philippa, if I can just tell you one question which came up, I think what he wants to mean is how much confidence would be appropriate in front of the camera? I mean, that is, I think his question is, Syed Faiz has asked this question, how much confidence would be appropriate? Nothing to be overconfident or to be averagely confident. So how does one convey confidence in front of camera? If you can just address that query.
I think, in my opinion, overly confident doesn't work because people can feel it, and sometimes it's insincere. I believe you just have to trust yourself. The more that you practice and the more that you center yourself, I really believe that you trust what you're saying. You tell yourself, I know I'm focused. I know what I'm saying. I trust what I'm saying. I know I'm doing a great job. Just be in yourself and trust yourself. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I don't think there are too many questions in this session, because I think it was more of a, transmission of knowledge which happened just now. And I think people really gained out of it. And there's so many of us, so many of the students who had joined in, thanking you for this, Philippa. So once again, thank you. And for the students who have joined in, I just wanted to let you know that you will be issued an e-certificate because you have joined this session. And while we hope that you have been a part of the entire session, we would still certify you. You have been minimum for 30 minutes into the session. And also, if you are providing us a feedback, which Marketa will explain to you while I hand it over to her as to how the feedback will happen. So please don't leave right now. Marketa will explain to you how to provide the feedback. Over to you, Marketa.
Thank you so much, Anindita. Okay, so just so you know, everybody, at the end of the session, once we close the webinar, automatically it will trigger a quick feedback form where we ask you what is the one thing you learned today. If you would give us evaluation, if it was informative, 0 is not at all informative, 5 is very informative, and something in between, up to you. And then the last question is, if there is any suggestion from you, what do you think we should improve? What is it that we could do better? And while you do that, also please note, I was mentioning this competition we run every week on every session with our students that join. And last week we had Narendra Jadha from Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology who won, who commented really nicely on what to do to make your resume more impactful, because that was the topic of our last session. So if you go to the chat window and find there the link to our Instagram, then you will find there this post that will say, what is the one thing that today you have learned that you think will make your online presentation just like this more impactful? So this is that. This is how the posts look like. So you can comment on there. And then, as you know, we are on other social media platforms. We have some star learners that are joining us every week on LinkedIn and sharing their certificates and their feedback and engagement. And everybody here, we very much encourage you to have a profile on LinkedIn, because that's something that does help your career and your chances to land a job in the future if interested. So feedback, I've mentioned, it's going to be launched right when we stop the session. And also a reminder that the next time you can meet with us is on the 2nd of November, and we will speak about what does it mean to be smart in a smart world, what counts in a digital workplace. So very interesting. I'm interested what I'm going to learn. And last but not least, I want to thank everybody who joined us and gave us nice wishes for Happy Diwali. So once again, Happy Diwali to you all. Lokesh, Visachaya, we have Jayashree, Kimaya, Bhavika, Vishaka, Kajal. I wish I could read all your names, but thank you so much for being here and hope to see you again. And Philippa, thank you for the amazing session. I've learned a lot. It was funny because you were saying careful about like other applications. I always close everything carefully, and then my computer let me down because it connects to my phone and it rings. So sometimes we can take all the precautions in the world and things happen. So, but it's great that we created this awareness. So we have all learned something today. I hope our learners too, and I hope they will share it with us. So thank you, Philippa, so much. It was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
A pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Happy